Hello, what's going on, everyone? I hope everyone's doing good. I hope everyone's doing good. Why are the rich? Why are the rich always winning and the poor always losing? Right? That's a big question in a lot of people's mind, right? Why are the rich winning and the poor keep losing over and over? Um, that's the next question. Why? Right? Let me see. Let me change Instagram a little bit. So why? You tell me why. Why are the rich losing and right? Why are the rich always winning and the poor always losing, right? I don't understand. This is something that we should always be asking ourselves, right? We should always be asking ourselves, why should the poor only be allowed to lose and the rich are not allowed to win, right? That's just a reality of the times we're living in, right? This is the times we're living in where we're spending so much money on war um, as a country. We're spending so much money on war, and we refuse to spend money on anything else other than war, right? And it's a sad reality. It's a sad reality that we should be spending on a lot of other things other than war. We should spending on society, right? We should be open to being good people. And I hear my own echo, my own shadow, right? I'm sharing the show. Let's um, let's listen to the video, the first video. Suzanne Rice, they're calling for her to be let go. This was before um, the whole Iran conflict. This is what she had to say about it, about the powers to be and how they have to answer. Now we've seen the reality of an out of control person running our country, right? We're seeing the reality, and do we want to admit the reality?
The law firms, the universities, the media. I agree with you, Preet. It is not. It's not going to end well for them. For those that decided that it was, that they would act in their perceived very narrow self-interest, which I would underscore is very short-term self-interest, and take a knee to Trump. I think they're now starting to realize, wait a minute, this is not popular. Trump is not popular. What he is doing, whether on the economy and affordability or on immigration now, is not popular. And that there is likely to be a swing in the other direction. And they are going to be caught with more than their pants down. They're going to be held accountable by those who come in opposition to Trump and win at the ballot box. And I can tell you, Preet, as I talk to leaders in Washington, leaders in our party, leaders in the states, if these corporations think that the Democrats, when they come back in power, are going to, play by the old rules and say, oh, never mind, we'll forgive you for all the people you fired, all the policies and principles you've violated, all the laws you've skirted. I think they've got another thing coming because just like when Trump thought, okay, I'll redistrict and the Democrats won't have the guts to play hardball. They're going to be surprised. Democrats have had a belly full, and we're not going to play by the old set of rules when these guys are playing by a very different set of rules. We're going to play by the law. We're not going to violate the law the way they do, but we're not going to be suckers. And so I think, whether you're a law firm, whether you're a university, whether you're a media entity, whether you're a big corporation, whether you're big tech, you need to play a long game, not this short game that has been so detrimental. There will be an accountability agenda. Companies already are starting to hear they better preserve their documents. They better be ready for subpoenas. If they've done something wrong, they'll be held accountable. And if they haven't broken the law, good for them. If they've done the right things, good for them. That also will be noted and remembered. But this is not going to be.
This is Suzanne Rice thinking that eventually everything's going to catch up to the Republicans and all the people that support Trump in all his endeavors and all his wishes, right? I didn't see him address the American people still. He put out videos, short videos, and that's all he's doing right now. But he's not really addressing the American people. He's not addressing the press. He's just saying that he's going to continue what he's doing, right? So listen to Suzanne
an
Rice.
Instance of
Netflix
forgive and forget.
Right.
The damage that these people are doing is too severe to the American people and to our national interest. But when it comes to the elites, the corporate interests, the law firms, the universities, the media, I agree with you, Preet. It is not. It's not going to end well for them. For those that decided that it was, that they would act in their perceived very narrow self-interest, which I would underscore is very short-term self-interest, and take a knee to Trump. I think they're now starting to realize, wait a minute, this is not popular. Trump is not popular. What he is doing, whether on the economy and affordability or on immigration now, is not popular. And that there is likely to be a swing in the other direction. And they are going to be caught with more than their pants down. They're going to be held accountable by those who come in opposition to Trump and win at the ballot box. And I can tell you, Preet, as I talk to leaders in Washington, leaders.
What do you think? Suzanne Rice, Netflix CEO and former Hillary Clinton, the right hand, is saying that the Democratic Party is changing its trajectory and is no longer going to play by the old rules. But it seems to me that they still are playing by the same old rules, right? They haven't really adjusted their strategy, and they're pretty much just capitulating to whatever interests were available, right? They're just capitulating to the old thinking, right? And they haven't really changed their ways, right? What do you think, everyone? Let's see some people's opinion. This is Marjorie Taylor Greene.
We're entering a nuclear war, the World War III, because the entire world is going to erupt. And you want to know the people that are cheering it on right now? Their tune is going to drastically change the minute we start seeing flag draped coffins on the nightly news, on Fox News that brainwashes all the baby boomers, and on CNN that brainwashes all the Democrat baby boomers. And that is exactly how this is going to go down. We bombed Iran on behalf of Israel. Yes, it was on behalf of Israel. We're entering a nuclear war, the World War III, because the entire world is going to erupt. And you want to know the people that are cheering it on right now? Their tune is going to drastically change the minute we start seeing flag draped coffins on the nightly news, on Fox News that brainwashes all the baby boomers, and on CNN.
Wait up, is this the same Marjorie Taylor Greene that was in the State of the Union speaking so fondly of Donald Trump? Remember? Marjorie Taylor Greene was speaking so fondly of Donald Trump, right? Um, um, wasn't this let's let me share this. Let me share the screen. This is the same Marjorie Taylor Greene. Remember this? Remember? This was Marjorie Taylor Greene, right? This is the same Marjorie Taylor Greene that was so amped up with Donald Trump, loved Donald Trump, and was always vouching for him, right? Now all of a sudden she turned and now feels like Donald Trump is a traitor and is telling everyone that Donald Trump, we shouldn't trust him and he's not trustworthy, right?
By a man that I fought for 6 years for. And I gave him my loyalty for free. I won my first election without his endorsement, beating 8 men in a primary. And I've never owed him anything, but I fought for him for the policies and for America first. And he called me a traitor for standing with these women and refusing to take my name off the discharge petition. Let me tell you what a traitor is. A traitor is an American that serves foreign countries and themselves. A patriot is an American that serves the United States of America and Americans like the women standing behind me. And I want to tell you that this only became possible today because the American people whom we serve as representatives here in Congress demanded that this vote happen, and they put more pressure on every single elected politician in this city than has ever been put on them.
Have you forgotten about the...
And today you are going to see probably a unanimous vote from the House to release the Epstein files.
Have you forgotten about them?
The real fight.
Anyone forgot about them, or they still exist?
I was called a traitor by a man that I fought for 5, no, actually 6 years for. And I gave him my loyalty for free. I won my first election without his endorsement, beating 8 men in a primary. And I've never owed him anything, but I
He's
fought
hurt.
for him for.
She's hurt by Trump, right? She's real hurt. Let's see what Donald Trump had to say last night. Today he had something to say, some words he had to say to the American people because we've had casualties now.
Over the
officially.
past 36 hours,
Let's hear what he has to
the
say.
United States and its partners have launched Operation Epic Fury, one of the largest, most complex, most overwhelming military offensives the world has ever seen. Nobody's seen anything like it. We have hit hundreds of targets in Iran, including Revolutionary Guard facilities, Iranian air defense systems. Just now it was announced that we knocked out 9 ships plus their naval building, all in a matter of literally minutes. Iran's formerly supreme leader, Ayatollah Khamenei, is dead. This wretched and vile man had the blood of hundreds and even thousands of Americans on his hands and was responsible for the slaughter of countless thousands of innocent people all across many countries. Last night, all over Iran, the voices of the Iranian people could be heard cheering and celebrating in the streets when his death was announced. The entire military command is gone as well, and many of them want to surrender into saving their lives. They want immunity. They're calling by the thousands. Combat operations continue at this time in full force, and they will continue until all of our objectives are achieved. We have very strong objectives. They could have done something 2 weeks ago, but they just couldn't get there. Earlier today, CENTCOM shared the news that 3 U.S. military service members have been killed in action. As one nation, we grieve for the true American patriots who have made the ultimate sacrifice for our nation, even as we continue the righteous
thought it was
mission
3.
for which they gave their lives.
I thought there was 3
We
patriots.
pray for the full recovery of the wounded and send our immense love and eternal gratitude to the families of the fallen. And sadly, there will likely be more. Before it ends, that's the way it is. Likely be more, but we'll do everything possible where that won't be the case. But America will avenge their deaths and deliver the most punishing blow to the terrorists who have waged war against basically civilization. They have waged war against civilization itself. Our resolve, and likewise.
So he's saying it's a war, right? So Congress is saying any acts of war have to be approved by Congress. They're saying they're ready to go for 4 to 5 weeks, if possible, against Iran. And this is the worrying part, saying that there's going to be more casualties. I don't think most people are with this, right? Most people don't like this. It reminds us of the past, Vietnam, Iraq, North Korea, Korean War, many of the long wars, World War I, World War II, long wars that we lost a lot of soldiers. And that's what people are worried about, that this is going to be a long, protracted war. And that's why I say the poor always lose, right? Because most of the working people are the ones that lose, because the majority of soldiers out there are poor working people that feel that the only way they can move up is by serving in the military. The only way they could afford a house is if they serve in the military. The only way they could own a home is if they serve in the military. And
that of Israel has never been stronger. America is now, again, the richest, most powerful nation in the world by far. But the only reason we enjoy the quality of life that we do and the freedom and security is we have done things that others are unable to do. But it's because of warriors who are willing to lay down their lives to do battle with our enemies. And they do battle better than anybody. An Iranian regime armed with long-range missiles and nuclear weapons would be a dire threat to every American. We cannot allow a nation that raises terrorist armies to possess such weapons, would allow them to extort the world to their evil will. Not going to let it happen. We're not happening to us, and we're not going to let it happen to others. The United States has the strongest military the world has ever seen. I rebuilt our military in my first term. There's never been a military like we possess. And frankly, there's nobody even close, but we are now using that military for good. We want to have it for good purpose. We're undertaking this massive operation not merely to ensure security for our own time and place, but for our children and their children, just as our ancestors have done for us many, many years ago.
He had to give himself a pat in the back, right? He had to give himself a pat in the back, like always. How he rebuilt the military personally, and how he did this and he did that. What about the families? And how about prayers, sending prayers to those troops that passed, right?
Go. This is the duty and the burden of a free people. These actions are right and they are necessary to ensure that Americans will never have to face a radical, bloodthirsty terrorist regime armed with nuclear weapons and lots of threats. For almost 50 years, these wicked extremists have been attacking the United States while chanting the slogan, "Death to America" or "Death to Israel," or both. They are the world's #1 state sponsor of terror. We are the world's greatest and most powerful nation, so we can do something about what they do. These intolerable threats will not continue any longer. I once again urge the Revolutionary Guard, the Iranian military, police, to lay down your arms and receive full immunity or face certain death. It will be certain death. Won't be pretty. I call upon all Iranian patriots who yearn for freedom to seize this moment, to be brave, be bold, be heroic, and take back your country. America is with you. I made a promise to you, and I fulfilled that promise. The rest will be up to you, but we'll be there to help. Thank you. God bless you to our incredible warriors, and God bless the United States of America. Thank you. Over the past 36 hours, the United States and its partners have launched.
So the thing is that people are worrying about is that he's not hiding his intentions, right? He keeps saying the United States and Israel are the ones are doing this.
Trump supporters are losing their minds tonight as the real reason Donald Trump attacked Iran has been revealed, and it's not what he's claiming. Now, as you know, Donald Trump and the administration have claimed that Iran is seeking and close to obtaining a weapon that could reach the United States, and this was a preemptive attack. But according to the Washington Post, who spoke with 4 sources close to the matter, say that that's not the case at all, and instead it was Saudi Arabia and Israel who pushed Donald Trump for weeks to make this attack, despite U.S. intelligence telling Donald Trump Iran was not an imminent threat. In fact, according to sources, it would take Iran at least a decade to get a weapon that could reach the United States. Now, we've seen Iran be attacked by the United States and Israel on 2 occasions over the last few months, and they have completely emptied the chamber and have done minimal damage. So it doesn't appear Iran was the threat that everybody made them out to be. Now, while it is a good thing that the Ayatollah is gone, what happens next is going to be vital. But Trump supporters are losing their minds tonight as they feel once again they've been lied to. Trump supporters are losing their minds tonight as the real reason Donald.
Is that true? Is that true, people? Are Trump supporters losing their mind? Are they upset with Donald Trump? Are the people that still support Trump? I want to know, do you still support him? Are you still proud of Donald Trump as president? Are you still happy with his performance? Are you still supporting him? Will you vote for him a third term, as he claims? He's saying he's going to run again this year.
Feeling. I walked in and I won, and you're so busy and you realize you won, and maybe you take it a little bit for granted. Then you win a second time, and then you win a third time, to be honest. But I stood the first time at the beautiful White House. There's no building like it. There's no building in terms of the feel. And I'm standing right outside with our First Lady, who's now a movie star. She got a very successful movie. But I'm standing outside of the Lincoln bedroom, and I'm looking, and it's so historic. It's Abe Lincoln. It's a big deal. And I hate to see it. And I hate to see a lot of things in football and a lot of things in a lot of other events. When I look at the kickoff, I hate to see this new kickoff rule they have. It takes the glamour, the glory, it takes everything out of the game. When I watch a kickoff, that's a big event. That's the opening of a game, and important. It's an important thing. And then they do this. I'm not even sure. Does anybody understand what they're even doing?
So they claim that he could do. Is that saying that he's going to run again for a third term? Or am I misunderstanding the words? Am I misunderstanding what he's trying to say? And this is what some reporters caught up to him outside the White House. I mean,
Mr. President, what's your main objective? Mr. President, what is your main objective? What is it? Mr. President, who do you want to lead Iran? Mr. President, come on over here. Come on over here, Mr. President. Can we ask you about Iran? What's the statue? What's your message to the families of the service members who were killed?
he was not trying to answer reporters' questions or have them in the room, hold a press conference. He's not trying to hear the reporters, right? He doesn't want anyone asking him any questions. Is that worrying for you? Is that worrying? The fact that he doesn't want anyone asking him any questions, does that worry you as a regular person? The poor, the working people. In the end of the day, our kids, our families are the ones that are affected by this, right? Donald Trump's kids are not going to go to war, right? They're not going to go to war. The people's kids that are going to war are us, right? Are our kids, our regular working people's kids. That's why the poor and the working class can't win. We can't get a break, right? Unfortunately, we can't get a break. As much as we try, people are struggling paycheck to paycheck. And the economy, we expect it to get worse, right? They already reported gas prices being the gas futures have gone up, right? Right? The gas prices have gone up, right? Do you understand? The gas prices are keep going up, and so the let's see.
One of the largest, most complex, most overwhelming military offensives the world has ever seen.
Our military experts weigh in next.
It's like, do they have a way that they feel that they just feel like they're right, right? They just feel like they're right. Um, period, right? They just feel like they're right. And us poor people, we just gotta be quiet, right? We just gotta be quiet and just accept it. Let's see. There's conflicting reports, right, across the world. Um, conflicting reports. Some news agencies are reporting that people are celebrating this. Khamenei's death. Khamenei's death um, brings contrasting emotions in Iran. Some publicly mourn leader demise, but video also show jubilant response after violent crackdown in January. Celebration and mourning broke out across Iran in response to the death of the supreme leader Ayatollah Ali Khamenei, an extraordinary public response to the end of nearly 4 decades of the top cleric's rule. So he had his people with him, the ones that supported him and benefited from the system that was in place. And then you had people that didn't support him, right? So it's like a mixed bag, right? It's a mixed bag. Um, celebration of grief. Khomeini's death brings contrasting emotions in Iran, right? So I'm sure there's people here in the United States that have diverging point of views, right? And I love it. I love it that when people are in the comments insulting me, attacking me, talking about how I'm illiterate, I don't know how to read because I don't understand what I'm reading. Because if I don't speak positive of Donald Trump or MAGA, the MAGA movement, that's it. They come after me as a liberal, as a person that doesn't love the country. But I'm an independent, right? I'm an independent voter. I've been independent for a lot of years. I don't really care about the political parties. I think they're all corrupt in their own ways. They're all bad for the working people. They don't listen to the working people and they don't really care about what happens to working people. So that's the problem I have with both political parties. Um, the Republicans right now are on a streak. It's a bad streak, right? Um, Definitely a bad streak because they're tolerating and allowing Donald Trump to do as he pleases, right? Um, Without challenging his authority or challenging or demanding an explanation of what happened, right? So I don't know what to say, people, right? I don't know what to say, right? We're gonna have to face this reality. Um, we're just gonna have to face this reality. The economy is gonna be affected, and I don't think it's gonna be a good thing. The economic fallout. And these are the oil prices. So these are the oil prices. It shot up 6% already. People are expecting that the oil prices are gonna shoot up even more, right? Because energy, electricity, home heating oil, um, any type of household products, food items are all gonna go up because they all depend on energy and cheap energy, right? Definitely gonna go up. As much as you want to avoid that answer and avoid the question about the prices, we're gonna be paying more for less, like we've been doing for years, and our taxpayers are paying for those bombs that are being dropped all around Iran. It's gonna hurt the United States' reputation as a world ally. Um, there's not a lot of people that see us in a respectful way or invite us in to their homes or to their country because they feel like everyone is brutal in America and condones the type of behavior that most Americans are against, right? Most Americans are against war. Like me myself, I tend to be more of a pacifist, right? I don't really like wars. I think they're destructive, and a whole generation of humans are affected, of Americans, and so what are we gonna do? We're just gonna keep bombing them over and over for the next few weeks. We're gonna have to have boots on the ground. We're gonna have to have boots on the ground, which increases the chances of there being a fatality. That's just a reality, and that's what I think Donald Trump is saying, that there will be casualties. They know they're going to be casualties because they cannot control everything that's happening inside Iran, right? So the best thing people could do is just um, lay low, right? Stay out of trouble, lay low, and one day it'll be our turn to resist all those powerful forces that refuse to bend the will or bend the knee for anyone, right? So tonight is going to be a short broadcast. I'm just talking about the Iraq-Iran war. I mean, it's not, I always say Iraq because they're so close to each other and the scenarios are very similar now. So, but I appreciate you all for joining me on this broadcast. I'm going to see you tomorrow. Thank you for joining me, and I appreciate it. Listening. Do me a favor, like, share, follow. Like, share, and follow the program. Like, share, and follow. And let me know in the comments, what do you think? What should be the United States' next steps? Especially considering that the United States is already hated by many countries. So who in these countries will be willing to stand up and fight side by side with us in America? That's we gotta wait and see, because there are sanctions that we have to be careful we don't violate, because Trump could follow whatever law he wants, break the rules as much as possible, and no one's allowed to say anything to him unless he says it's okay, right? So think about that setup, that people are not really able to express themselves or say things the way they want to say things. It's going to be problematic, at least problematic. But thank you so much, everyone. I'll see you tomorrow. May God be with you. And remember, the poor, the working people, it should be something that every president should be fighting for, not just empty words, but actual action to help the poorer communities in the country. And that's a good thing, right? But I thank you all for watching the show. We'll continue tomorrow. We keep talking about it. Have a good night.